right, we good. So you made the move to Plainfield. The game greeted you and...
Yeah, we seen some Moors was at the back gate, and they were working in the kitchen, and that was the way one could see who came in and who was leaving. So they had one posted there, and I had a couple cousins that were there, and I didn't know it. And when I last seen them, they were real shorty. So, but they had heard about us in the Earthland, and so it was like a joyous occasion that we three met, and they wanted to know about the prophet, and of course they were still in that youthful stage of not having full consciousness or faculties. But at any rate, I talked to what they call the Imam for the Sunni community. We just so happened to, he was in one cubicle and I was across the hall, maybe 3 cubicles down, so we could speak, you know. And primarily that's what we did. And so we arranged a meet at the chapel. So some more said they had been going through a trip with this brother, and he ain't right, he ain't about the right thing. So we sit there and dialogue about this meeting, and we explained our demonstration to him, our nationality of the Ordinance Day. Yeah. And wise cap, you're a Moorish American too. Before you're anything else, you're a Moorish American. So we go off into a thing about that. And his thing was, he's a Sunni Muslim, faithful Muslim. I said, well, I'm not questioning that. Right. I said, I'm talking about nationality. That's right. And I said, this is what we're speaking about. Our creed is Islamism. And at the time, we're still bearing fruit of our labors, but we weren't all the way in fact. So, with that said, we gave him what we knew to be the truth. And we stood on it. Well, that caused a little problem.
A little friction.
Yeah, to an eighth degree. I didn't want to use friction, but that's a good word. And we ended up having to go to the European slave master to settle the dispute. Right. You know. Well, he said, well, they got it down here, they rotate like this. If they want you to demonstrate your aspects of Islam, then they would have to grant you permission to do that, and it would probably have to be done not during their service, but after their service. They can allot you so many. I said, well, I'm looking at things on an equitable basis. You know, we demonstrate the same, we praise the same God. Right. And it's not so much that we're tripping about ritual, but at the same time, we have a format in which we must follow as, you know, to honor our creed. Right. And he said, well, that's between y'all. Y'all get together. So anyway, it was that proved to be unfruitful. And make a long story short, we ended up going back to the European and demanding, hey, do this, man, hold up. We need a place to worship.
Right.
There you get through with all that, you putting blame on this dude right here. No, I'm coming to you.
Right.
You know, and well, we don't, we already have it set up where Islam is being, I said, man, you got different sects in Islam. And primarily, where we are drawn from Islam, our Constitution demonstrates, blah, blah, blah. When I get that to him, he said, well, we're not worried about your Constitution as opposed to your religion in and of itself. I said, our religion is Islamism. And we, like I say, to the point that we understood at the time, we lay it out. And so, just at that point, the United States Supreme Court decided a case. I can't think of it right now. But at any rate, it boiled down to this. What I sincerely believe. See, they can't go into my demonstration and say I don't sincerely believe when I'm saying it.
Right.
If it's falling within the free view of my tenets or the tenets of my faith, you got time of that.
That's
You got to kick down that door and then let us have a place to worship our God. Well, you know, he wasn't, but we ain't got to do this, and we already rotating with this, and already, okay. So, but at the same time, I'm still manifesting what El Brigham Bay had told me. Right. You know, about the challenges that we was going to have to go through. And it really didn't register until one night I'm sitting there and I see this big old load of case laws that I got to research. You know, no one is aiding the system with this. And, you know, all these ones supposed to be lawmen and they supposed to be this and that. Only thing they want to do is smoke that caifa. Right. You know, and so we let the peace be still. We informed ones what's getting ready to unfold. I said, it's going to be some static down here, you know, because we can ready to shut this other demonstration down. Y'all let it, you know, let us demonstrate somewhere over here in this demonstration. Or y'all got to cut it out. Cut us in, cut it out. That's right. And so that was the law. We set that down. And so ones was drawing the little knives, and you know, and European Christians, they loving it because they thinking that we go to fighting, and they had a whole chapel by themselves. You know, that would really kill two birds with one stone. Sort of like. So that's what I get to do, Imani. Yeah, that's his name, Imani. I think that's his name, Imani. I know it's the baby's name, but his name is Amani or something like that. Anyway, I had a meeting with him, and I let him know. I said, well, I got to name you this lawsuit, because you just put this and another, you know. So like they little demonstration is, they got a mosque in Plainfield, where the dude come down there faithfully, and see, this is what I was trying to tell you a minute ago. They getting paid. The Department of Corrections is paying them to come up in there.
The ministers come in.
Yeah. And, well, so much for that. I just want to get in the door to worship Allah. And that was my whole front at that time. And so we put it in the registry, and we was going pro se. I wasn't going to do a class action at that moment until I got to getting drawn off of all the other institutions throughout the whole state of Indiana. They going through the same. I knew about the reformatory, but I just left there. And so I was doing it with the reformatory in mind. Then, like I say, the word traveled through the ethers of what's going on. Radford-El is putting that thing down.
Get your shields ready.
It's now. So I'm talking, it's all the way up in Michigan City now, man.
Right.
And we're demonstrating travel just like that. So it got so deep.
Our next speaker for the Morris Science Temple, Brother D. Radford-El. In the name of Allah, the great God of the universe, one who is always eternal and comprehensible. To him alone belong all worship, adoration, thanksgiving, and praise. Honest to his noble, bless his love, Father. We came to teach you that it's truly better to love than it is to hate. We honor all. We honor all life. We honor you for honoring life. Let's speak to you briefly concerning the brotherhood of life. But before I speak about the brotherhood of life, I want you, dear souls of humanity, to pay particular attention to what the love thought of Allah had to say. Speaking about Jesus. Ibn Ayers is a sacred city of the pronouns. And Ibn Ayers, Jesus taught. The drinker was his host. The drinker made a feast in honor of his guests. And many high-born Hindu priests and scribes were there. And Jesus said to them, much delight, I speak to you concerning life, the brotherhood of life. The universal law is one, yet it is more than one. All things are one. By the sweet breath of Allah, all life is bound in one. So if you touch a fiber of the living thing, you send a thrill from the center to the outer bounds of life. When you press beneath your foot, the weakest worm will shake the throne of Allah and the sword of life and tremble in his sheep. The birds sing out this song for men, and men vibrate in unison to help us sing. The ant constructs his home, the bee is sheltering comb, the spider weaves a web, the flowers breathe with them, their spirit in their sweet perfume, their ears demonstrate the toil. Now, men, birds, and beasts, creeping things, are deities made flesh. And how dare you kill anything? It is cruelty that makes the world away. When men have learned that when they harm a living thing, they harm themselves. Surely they will not kill, nor call the thing that Allah has made to suffer pain. The lawyer said, I pray Jesus, tell who is this Allah you speak about? Where are his priests, his temples, and his shrines? Jesus said, Allah I speak about is everywhere. He cannot be compared with walls, nor edged about with bounds of any kind. All people worship Allah the one, but all people see him not alike. The universal law is wisdom, will, and love. All men see not the triune Allah. One sees it from Allah's might, another as Allah's thought, another as Allah's love. And man's ideas is God, and so man's God today is tomorrow's not God. As man unfolds as God unfolds. The nations of the earth see Allah from different points of view. And so he does not see the same to everyone. Man names are part of Allah he sees, and this to him is all of Allah. And every nation sees a part of Allah, and every nation has a name for Allah. Ibrahim is called Yehoram. In Egypt means Torah. Sears is his name in Greece. Jehovah is his Hebrew name. But everywhere he's a cause, and root is root for which all things have grown. When man sees Allah as one with him, as Father Allah, he needs no middleman, no priest to intercede. He goes straight up to him and says, my Father Allah, and lays his hand on Allah's own hand, and Allah's all is well. And this is Allah. You are each one a priest just for yourself, and sacrifice of blood. Allah does not want. Just give your life in sacrificial service to the all of life, and Allah is pleased. Just give your life in sacrificial service to the all of life, and Allah is pleased. The theme which brings us together in this great historical assembly of various souls is unity with diversity. It does not matter, in other words, who you are, what you are, what ethnic or religious group you represent or are a part of. It does not matter where you come from in life or what you think about life. You are still a part of this great human chain called life. Therefore, I want to speak to you tonight about the brotherhood of life. As I reflect on that shockingly tragic event of 9/11, I can remember witnessing this mass human change converge on the site where it called for help dismayed. I saw different ethnic groups, various nationalities, professionals, laymen, etc. It did not matter where they came from at that hour, nor did it matter who they were, nor what they were. They came from all sectors of society and from different parts of life, each in his or her own individual way, reaching out and touching and extending unto the fallen their helping hands in sacrificial service to our fallen citizens. I remember seeing 343 firefighters cast aside fear of death and race to a cause greater than life itself, the salvation of our fellow citizens, a cause to which they eventually lost their lives for. As I reflect
and fit, they, like I said, they got swords and talking about y'all gonna either cut us in and cut it out. At some institutions, they was letting the Moors rotate, but the Moors was violating. You know, they would overextend their arm and just disrespect war. You know the Moors.
Right.
And so we sent out a word, you know, Islam, peace be still. Y'all can rotate, you know, rotate, but don't cause no conflict.
Right.
You know, because they don't do no reflect on the prophet.
Right.
You know, so we got the peace back to a tranquil atmosphere, and I don't know whether I wrote the Legal Service Organization of Indiana, or they ended up coming up in there. Said, well, the dude who was the imam of their demonstration forwarded me to this little female. And so she came down and did an interview with me. And said she'd take the case. And she liked the way I drew up the complaint, you know, lawsuit was all right. But she wanted my permission to add this recent case law that just said come down. That they cannot deny me the right to practice my religious belief without, you know, placing a substantial burden up on me, and that was the test. And so we showed that we were substantially burdened because we were prohibited from rotating like we were supposed to rotate. Here we gathered, and they try to say it's all the same. No, it's not the same. And we demonstrated that with affidavits and different sworn testimonies, etc. So it got throughout the whole Department of Correction, and that's when the big boys, superintendent, the commissioner, all them ones stepped in, and they want to know who this one is. So we had interviews, and I'm telling them, say, well, like, we give you so much of this, and you're going to shut up and let the peace be still. No. That's not why I was sent here. Now I'm getting them. I'm drawing about what L. Gregory Bay was talking about. And it seemed I got locked up. I forget exactly what happened. Because one of the Moors, I ended up going to battle for him. And the guard tore up his something, either his fez, or they wouldn't let him have his fez, and something about his fez. Oh, he was wearing it in the dorm, and they told him he couldn't wear it in the dorm. And I told the boy, I said, Moore, that demonstration represents free men. You shouldn't want to wear this in the enemy camps, and you are under another man's subjugation.
That's right.
See? And so I gave him the option, without declaring, what you're doing out of law, Act 5, I gave him the option to get a drawing. And so anyway, the Mo wanted to keep wearing it, and so Rome rolled down on him, and now they done violated his rights to religious freedom, which he was right, because it doesn't make no difference. If this is a part of our ritual, if you will, then he can demonstrate that.
That's right.
But at the same time, you just don't put no high pressure bust a pipe. And we're striving to. So I got a lot more dudes who want to come in on me as a, what you call, well, they're plaintiffs, but class action. They want to do another class action, extended. Well, this is when I get a word from the lawyer from, like I said, Legal Service Organization. And so we're getting a lot of complaints down at the Legal Service Organization, and we need to consolidate or bring this lawsuit together, challenge, because the same thing is going on in every institution throughout the whole state of Indiana. And we want to know if you give us permission to amend the complaint, and where we can incorporate all the institutions, the whole Indiana Department of Corrections, and name, at that time her name was Evelyn Turner, I think. She was the commissioner. And so I ended up amending it to include the commissioner, Indiana Department of Correction, in all institutions. So they hot. I forget what I forget what it was about, but it was something really insignificant, trivial. I was working in the kitchen, and somebody said something, and I ended up, I wasn't meddling because it was a Moor, but I ended up speaking on his behalf, and instead of them locking him up, ended up locking me up, interfering with the police officer and all that. So I'm sitting down in the hole, I think about 12 days, and they let me out. and took me up front, you know, in chains. And the superintendent wanted to know if he let me out, I wasn't going to cause no confusion, and I wasn't going to let the officers get hurt. And man, we ain't with all that. Where you getting all that? So we see that you was down in the reformatory, and they gonna put me all up in that. And I wasn't. Well, see, you got your facts wrong.
Right.
You know, it wasn't like that. If anything, I saved a lot of officers' life that day.
Right.
And I was thinking about a lot of inmates. You see what I'm saying? 'Cause I see y'all had the guns, this, that, and nothing. Anyway, they want to compromise. You know, they want to send me up to a level 5, back up to a level 5, like take me up to Sullivan County.
But they had brought you down to level 2.
Right.
Now they want to shoot you past 3 and 4.
Because of my status, of who they see I am now.
Right.
You know, and they consider me to be a threat.
Right.
To, you know, so I haven't done anything.
Right.
So anyway, I tell the lawyer about what their suggestions are, and so we found out that's like harassment, and she called it a word, it wasn't harassment, intimidation. You know, that's what they, you know,
right.
The fact that I filed a lawsuit, you
right.
know.
Now they're trying to scare you into robbing.
No, I'm telling you right in the law. I didn't make a long story short, and quota. Had all that. There was some money passed. You know, the lawyers got their little scraps, you know. Right. You know, the loans off the table. But I didn't get a quota. Right. Because the whole thing wasn't about the money per se. It was about opening a way where a lot of children, my brothers, right. could have, you know, I know. And not only that, I've seen how deep this demonstration, because no more as institutions really understood and understand what they got. Irregardless of what's going on in your life, you know, don't hold on to the prophet. And that was my whole departing sermon. You know, whatever y'all going through, you know, keep the prophet out front. Hold on to the prophet. You know, because the winding down, us getting ready to come home, the ones was going on before us, and they would come back, they would beat up, you know, and been out on the drug fad, and robberies, and burglaries, and new cases, and where was the prophet at? You know? Right. Come find out they done left the prophet at the back gate when they left, you see. So it's a fad, you know, while he was there, you know.
They wasn't their first degree.
Exactly. And so this is what we grew up in. This is how we grew up. This is where we got a sensing of how serious this brother was. I said, well, because when I saw the brother, I saw him, I don't see the picture now, he was standing up.
The one where he got the hand on the book?
Right. Yeah, this one right here. He's standing up. And he's got, yeah, this is it. He's standing there.
This is the picture?
Yeah, that's the picture. It seemed to be that he's standing alone.
Right.
But the same stance is in the Constitution. And he's in the center of the Constitution. So he's got two pillars. You know, regardless of what's being said, he's got two pillars or two props. You know, the thrones of power. This is how I see the brother was demonstrating that immaculate conception, if you will, the thrones of power. And this is how I visualize my prophet. But in the same sense, he was alone. But then something said, well, if he was alone, why am I here? So he can't be alone because I'm on the manifest.
Right.
And I said, wow, if I'm on the manifest, that means someone else is on the manifest.
Right.
So my whole job is to make the connection. And this is why we've been adamant about putting it out there like that. How you say it, having prepared speeches, none of that. It's got to come from within you. You may have a target audience, but what would the prophet say?
That's right.
See, and so you have to go with what the prophet say. So I know a lot of Moors will say, well, why is he the Grand Sheik? Why is he reading what the chairman wrote? Well, first of all, you gotta know who the chairman is.
Islam.
See, this is what a lot of Moors is missing. They don't know who that one is. See, and I know, see, I can only speak from my experience and how I went to a certain place. I can't really describe it, other than it looked reddish orange, and all I heard was everyone say, help him, he's with me. Now, he wasn't talking about the prophet.
Right.
So whose voice was it? It was the prophet's voice. Who was he talking about? The Grand National Chairman.
Right.
And so, especially when I take that lapse and go into that other plane, and I'm seeing these ones look like they call themselves Indians, and the one made that utterance, something like that, which meant, I'll never forget it, inner circle, outer circle. It's talking about the circle 7, and I was up in that direction. But at the same time, on the outside, I'm seeing the moles, getting gunned down. But they're really Moors. They was getting gunned down. Every time one raised his head, they would stand up in a row, and Rome was running through, gunning them down. Well, lo and behold, that's exactly what's going on right now.
Right.
See, and so we never, but there's a meeting of the nations that's got to happen. And it wasn't my chairman that was out there. It was the Grand National Secretary of State. And she was wearing that scimitar. So I'd say that to say, but there's a lot of points in there that we move beyond.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Yeah.
It's about one having some type of clarity, because if you're gonna be obscure or dense or not sure of who you are, then you need to take time and really reflect on where you come from. How did you get where you're at, and why did you because one thing that I'm understanding, the universe don't make no mistakes.
That's right.
And see, everything is like, you ain't been over here, 14 days, I'm just using that as an example.
Right.
All at once you come up out of nowhere. But you had been intending on coming. See, whatever happened, you stop. But it's got to be on the right time. Everything unfolds. When I say it unfolds.
Right.
And that's how Allah moves. So that's what we've been trying to tell ones, that we are already a free people. We just don't recognize ourselves as being free.
That's right.
We don't understand the true essence of freedom. Well, like I said, it's already there. How did you get here? Where did you come from? So who are you? And I think the chairman and Sister Grand Sheik asked that question some time ago. Who are you? Where'd you come from?
Right.
See, and when you say you're a star, what are you saying? When you look at that star, you don't see yourself, it's just shining bright. But if it's shining bright, what are you doing? And you're a reflection of that.
Okay. I do have a question. So, you know, you go in, now you go in as, you know, your family knows you as one person, and you get this knowledge, then you come out. How did that change, you know, your family dynamic, or just how people perceived you?
Yes, I think it's easier said than done. When you read the prophecies, prophecies, he talks about first, he said, I brought you something you should be shouting about.
Mm-hmm.
You know, first of all, and then he said something about I'm not gonna wake you all up at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but yet still, what is our mission?
Mm-hmm.
You know, why would the prophet say I'm not gonna wake you all up at the same time? I won't be able to do nothing with you myself.
Right.
And then, you know, but what is our mission? You know, our mission is to uplift, follow you, man.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't say wake them up.
Right.
Our mission is to uplift them. You know,
that's fine.
our mission is to say, I don't get it to everybody.
Right.
Because one misuse it.
Right.
Because it's all about bringing ones out of them graveyards.
Right.
But see, the thing is that it takes them more. This comes from my Grand National Chairman to teach them more.
Mm-hmm.
And so, what that's saying is that it takes me to teach me.
Mm-hmm.
But when I'm looking in the face of a more, I'm looking in the face of a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But see, the more don't know that.
Mm-hmm.
He's looking at something else, whether it be female, the first thing you want, ooh, and you know, the lower self come into play, and you know, you look at another more, he don't like him because this one's outshining,
mm-hmm.
This one is more polished than he is.
Mm-hmm.
But those are your thinking. How did you get to that level there?
Right.
Then you got to go back and study yourself, because you ain't doing it but looking at yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It's what you don't like in yourself, you seeing in others. But you want to beat up on the brother because he outshining you. And ain't nobody outshining you but you.
Yeah.
You know,
mm-hmm.
Someone say, well, that one made, it's like a brother, Thompson Bay, when he coming up out of Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone clicked. Well, what are you talking about?
Right.
You know, he just had a whole 360, but he took it to another level that he shouldn't have done.
Right.
And this is what a lot of us do. But I want to get to the main point. When we talk about looking at the prophecies of the hadiths, and we try to make some sense out of them, so it's a level of interpretation, and everybody's entitled to his level of interpretation. But we talk about true wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
Is less pursuing than found.
That's right. And
this is why the wise man down above. In other words, he studies that demonstration, and he makes sure what he's seeing is the correct demonstration. But he leaves room for alteration. You know, in other words, you know, I'm not going to put it out there like this is the absolute truth, because you know, like I was telling one about the glass last night. I used to drink water from the glass that was half full. I used to drink water from the glass that was full. Now I drink a glass of water that's empty. Why is the water empty? See, because the water's going through the glass.
Right.
The glass is me.
Mm-hmm.
See, you know, and so you get, when you say you get full of the energy, see, or you get full of water and the energy, you say, I've had enough. And one can never get enough. And the whole thing about the water is the breath in and of itself. It's about a sweet breath. Because once you lose that demonstration, it's over with.
That's right.
So how can you fill it up to the top? This is why, you know, I said it out there.
Right.
I don't know what picked up on it.
Well, you know, everybody gonna pick them.
How you gonna say, well, my cup is full. My cup is half full. That tells me that you're still a child. You still. But see, when you talk about a cup, there is nothing that confines you. There's nothing that can bind you.
That's right.
There's nothing that can hold you. So how you gonna say that a cup of water holds you? Yeah, my cup is full. Well, my cup is, no, I don't run over. You know, it just runs through and through. You know, and so in that sense, this is what we got to, that's the level that our chairman strive, and yourself, all the ministers strive to get us all to.
Well, let me ask you this question, for Israel. Did they know that you had, your family, did they know that you had put these lawsuits forward? Did they know about 85 when that thing in the reformatory happened, and it could have been the end for you, you know, without the, you know, the law bless you with the foresight to think about having witnesses, it could have ended differently.
I think, no, I don't think they knew nothing. See, my family, immediate family, the only one that came to see me the whole time I was there was Shine.
The oldest.
The oldest one,
right.
You know. And she just started on the latter part of my bit, you know. But as far as communication, I very, very seldom communicated with them.
Okay.
And like I said, I'm thinking all the way back to the 13th year when I made that journey to discover myself. I think that, you know, how you born into a certain situation, but sometimes you say this ain't right. You know. And who are these people?
They don't understand me.
Yeah, they don't understand what I see, you know. And that was me for a lot of years. And like I say, I never knew.
Yeah.